All right. Hello and welcome back to the Anime Happy Hour podcast. I'm Jonathan, and tonight I'm joined here today with my two co-hosts. First, we got Jake, because he's getting a little salty that he's going last.
I'm still not putting you high in the draft.
And last but certainly not least, taking Jake's spot now, Kirk.
Get shit on.
Who? Oh, me. Yeah, hi.
Yeah, you. Just in case this is your first time joining us, we are the Anime Happy Hour podcast, where every week we get together, we have a drink, and discuss the world of anime and what's going on in it. We also casually share our thoughts and opinions on various topics from episode to episode, while occasionally getting heated at each other.
Very occasionally.
I think once or twice an episode.
More than occasionally.
Before we get started, a few disclaimers. We are an anime podcast, but we're also an adult podcast, so there will be occasional swearing. We also discuss a lot of recent events of both new and old shows, so here's your spoiler warning before the episode starts. Lastly, there's our own personal opinions. I'm sure every single one of you has your own opinion on every show we may be talking about, but keep them to yourself. We wouldn't mind hearing from you guys, though, so make sure to reach out to us with any feedback, with anything we got going on with the show. You can reach us by searching our Facebook page at Anime Happy Hour Pod 03. Search that right in the search bar up top. You can email us at animehappyhour951@gmail.com. You can check out our Anchor page, which has all the links to all of our different streaming, which is anchor.fm/happyanimehour03.
And you can continue to vote for the winner of the draft. It'll probably be me every week, so, vote accordingly.
It goes to his head, so try not to, give him every win. I know he is a special case. I guess we'll start off the episode like we start off every single episode. What are we drinking, Jake?
This week I'm doing the, what you did last week, John, the bourbon and Mountain Dew. And I gotta say,
Okay.
I'm impressed. I'm a fan.
Yeah, it's simple.
Kind of tastes like a cream soda.
Mm-hmm. Kirk, what do you got poured up there for this week?
I have some apple pie moonshine.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, the one from the,
I'm not gonna
what
make
was
it.
The winery?
I'm not going to make it through the episode, dude.
Oh, good
Dude,
thing
it's
you're
like
not the one doing the outro.
Yeah, thank God. It's dangerous. It's 40 proof, but it drinks like apple juice. I'm already done with one glass. We're going to pour a second in a minute here.
I'll be judging your state throughout the podcast. I might have you go first.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm already at like a solid 4. I'm already feeling
Let you
fine.
waste that first pick.
Yeah, for real. Well, I'm not too far behind you, so I started it off with a vodka Red Bull, but I think I'm gonna slowly. I'm out of vodka at this point, so I'm gonna guide myself.
A
into
Red Bull,
vodka
Red Bull.
Crown. Oh, I just said vodka Crown. I meant Red Bull Crown. But all right, well, as we always do every week, what's our queue looking like to after this week? I know probably the same few shows we've been talking about on week to week.
Yeah, definitely.
I
The one I want to talk about is The World's Finest Assassin. I'm not going to give away any spoilers for the newest episode, but I like the way that they're slowly starting to develop the world and the systems, the magic system and stuff like that. And I like the way they're dealing with the... You've seen the first 2 episodes, right?
Yeah.
I like the way that they're dealing with the character, Lou. I forget his name when he was, before he died. Like how in his past life he was just a tool. he thought of himself as a tool. He didn't need any emotions. He just did what people told him.
Yeah.
And here he's trying to actually, for the first time,
feel
live his life.
Like type
and
of a family, part of the family. Yeah.
become a human. And I like the way that they're handling that.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cool the way, instead of just making him like very strictly assassin based, like he was in his whole life.
And I like that like when he got to pick his own skills. Like I mean, obviously this was going to happen because it is a trope, but he picked the skills that the goddess was like, really? That's what you're going to pick? You can pick an S rank skill and that's the one you pick. And I like that. I like seeing various uses of what is commonly thought of not powerful abilities.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like it's going to be pretty good. The action was better than I expected it to be so far.
That's the main thing. When I saw the trailer, I thought this will be really good, but the animation looks like shit as far as the fight scenes in the trailer, and then the show completely subverted that preconception.
Yeah, for sure. Kirk, you got any input? Do you want to go to the next one?
I actually haven't seen
The second?
the newest episode yet. I've seen the first 2 episodes. I haven't seen the third.
Yeah, that dropped today, didn't it?
Yesterday, I think.
Today or yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it came out a little bit later yesterday because I was looking at shows yesterday and it wasn't quite out yesterday.
Yeah. Well, I guess hit another one that I'm sure we've probably seen. At least Kirk has. Tacked Op Destiny.
I haven't seen the newest. I haven't seen episode 3 yet. Yeah, I know.
I don't know if you're gonna like it.
This doesn't surprise me.
And well, I liked it as an episode, but it's still another backstory episode. So
That upsets me a little bit.
I think they're gonna follow. I hate to make a reference to this, but like a Boruto theme. Like they brought you in like current day, like what's going on in the first episode, and then they're bringing it back and building the story of everything that happened leading up to that first episode.
Yeah, I was gonna catch up until you said that.
I'm gonna be real sad.
It wasn't a bad episode though. Like there was like a really good fight scene. It was like it explained a lot more of like the music arts, and the maestro is like.
I almost don't. I'm not gonna lie. I almost don't care about the music arts. I just want to see Talked and Cassette get what they want. I just want I want episode 1, but continued.
So there was more fighting in this, though. I mean, like, it was cool because, like, in the beginning, they like went off. It was like when they first like, used their abilities.
How was the studio change?
That's kind of what we were talking. That's because of the studio change, probably.
Yeah, it probably changed back.
So it looked like the first episode?
Yeah.
See, well, I almost don't want it to be a fighting anime, though. I'd rather it be more slice of life than action, but hey, we get what we get.
Well, it is. It's getting there, but they're doing it in a manner of kind of guiding it back to where it is present day. It's kind of setting you still get it's nice because it's like showing you how the characters got to where they are as far as like emotionally and like the relationship between them. Because I mean, we were talking about that lightheartedness between Tact and Destiny in the first episode.
Destiny.
Well, Destiny is her after she died. Cassette died.
So Destiny is like
it was
her
Cassette
now.
before, but Destiny is who she is as a person now because.
Yep.
She's not.
Because it's not.
She's not cassette anymore. Cassette's gone. But it's kind of like it's nice. It's setting the tone, and it introduces some new characters, and kind of introduces the antagonist a little bit. Gives you a little teaser for it. I mean, I don't mind it. I think it's a good episode. I'm not complaining.
I'll watch it.
Do we got any other updates? Any other shows we've been watching?
Monday I watched the newest episode of The Fruit of Evolution. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I still gotta watch that.
That one's looking promising. The other one that we got was what was it? The second episode I think since our last episode, we got the second episode of Faraway Paladin. Faraway Paladin, I'm super hyped for.
Yeah, I was
I just
iffy
thought-
on it at the first, but it's getting a little bit better as we're kind of progressing
Yeah.
a bit.
Jake, are we going to spoil anything if we talk about
I
it?
mean, you could talk about it. I haven't watched it yet. That's my fault.
I mean, with Faraway Paladin, the scene where they kind of like start attacking him, and he goes into the ruins and shit, and Gus attacks him. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
great.
and the little cliffhanger towards the end with Gus, like talking about how he was gonna have to fight, but he wanted him to like throw the fight at the end.
Yep.
Like, yeah, but not
And he's
explaining
like, too bad
why.
I'm not going to. Yeah. What I do want to see is a comparison of that and Zero's Eden. Because Zero's Eden, the first 3 episodes are literally the same thing.
Yeah,
Eden Zero, Zero's Eden, Eden Zero,
Eden
I don't know,
Zero.
whatever it is. The Eden Zero, yes, thank you. Like the first 3 episodes of that, it's a kid trapped on a planet with a bunch of robots that raised him, and eventually they all turn backstabby, but fake backstabby.
yeah. Like there's a
Just so he'd leave.
underlying plot to it.
Yeah, it was literally the same thing, which I thought was kind of funny, just because I had watched Eden Zero so recently, and then I started watching this. It's like, wow, cookie cutter much?
Yeah, for real. I mean, there's a few shows like that, but I mean, I guess the only other one I have on my list as of recently was Platinum End.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
Second
really not
episode.
giving me anything, to be honest.
not good, not bad, kind of generic. It
It's-
feels very bleh.
It's not giving me anything to like keep me wanting to watch it every single week.
It's so unlike. I guess an anime can be predictable, but like this one's just next level. Like, oh wow,
It doesn't like
big
pull me in or
surprise there.
grasp me at all. Like it's like even like watching it at
No.
18 minutes that it is, it doesn't really do much for
Doesn't
me.
do it.
Like I'm trying, like because it's slowly
Mm-hmm.
progressing and giving you plot points, but it's not doing
Kind
anything
of.
crazy.
No, definitely not. Like you see, like the one angel drops out right away because
He knows that he wouldn't stand a
Robo-Man,
chance in the
yeah.
first place. He
well,
was-
he didn't. For whatever reason, he picked a shitty person that he knew would get zapped right away, and he's like, "Yeah, that was my intention. I didn't want to be a part of this race."
yeah. He was
And
like,
it's
I
like,
only
oh,
had.
that's
He's like, I
interesting,
only had
why?
one arrow. I didn't stand a chance in the first place. Like
Yeah.
when they were all lined up in the beginning. But I don't know. I'll watch it. It's definitely not going to probably go on my top list for the season. But Jake, you got anything else on the list? Do you want to talk about
No, not at the moment.
other than what we're talking about later
Yeah.
on? Kirk?
Nope, I'm good. I actually spent most of my time watching that. That's why I'm so behind on other stuff.
Yeah, me too.
I had never seen it, so it's not like I could just watch an abridged version.
Yeah.
I gunned through it.
Well, with that, we'll move right into our news segment for the night. Our first article is relating to Mob Psycho. Season 3 has been confirmed. There's no current release date yet, but they've been counting down to it for the last 3 months. They've been kind of going up by a percentage on their website or Twitter page, teasing it. We thought it was going to be a movie at first, but ended up coming out to be a new season completely. What do we think? We excited for it? We ready for a new season of Mob
Oh,
Psycho?
yeah.
I don't think anybody expected a new season.
I
of
definitely
Mob,
did not.
so-
I thought they definitely ended it making you feel like it could just be done and over with.
Yeah.
But it seems, I think it was just simply because of popularity and stuff that they're able to keep it going. Mob was very popular both in the USA and in Japan, so it doesn't surprise me that it's getting a third season, I guess, but it's not, I guess I didn't expect it either. It's kind of just like, oh, cool, I'll watch it. I'm not. Mob doesn't rank amongst my top anime, but it's definitely not on the low. Like, I'll definitely watch a third season of it.
Yeah, if they do another event thing like last time, Kirk, you will have to go watch it. The first episode premiere at the movies or whatever.
Yep, that was fun.
I'm a big fan of Mob.
I'm gonna have to pop.
I could always use more Mob Psycho. The only thing is, I never thought we would get a third season because after the second season ended, I went to finish it in the manga. But I didn't end up doing that because I looked and there was only like 4 chapters left after the second season. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of bullshit. And so I never thought we would get a third season. And I'm hyped.
I hope they do it justice and they're not trying to force a third season.
Yeah, well, you know, more Regan the best, or the better.
Yeah.
I also, they kind of ended it earlier. This was the exact thought I had at the end of season 2. Because Tsubomi was close to finding out Mob's super powerful and, like, cool, right? And they ended it, and I was like, but I want Mob to get the girl. You know what I mean?
For real, the first episode of season 2 teased that so much. With, like, the whole date episode and everything.
Like, no matter what happens, I'll be happy if Mob gets the girl.
For sure. But I think we're all excited for that. I guess we'll move right into number 2. Comes to no surprise to any of us. It was just a matter of time. Disney is working on 4 new anime projects. They've kind of recently started their own anime studio, producing its content right out of Asia, including many shows coming from Indonesia, China, and Australia as well. The shows are the shows that they said they're releasing are Summertime Rendering, based off the manga series, Twisted Wonderland, which is kind of what I'm excited about, Johan Time Machine Blues, and Black Rock Shooter Downfall. I know Black Rock Shooter is a remake of a show, or its second season of a show, I believe, that came out a while ago. Twisted Wonderland kind of piqued my interest a little bit. I saw some videos on it.
Twisted Wonderland looks like it's going to be
I saw like a
if they do it right.
preview, like picture of it, and it piqued my interest for sure.
So let me put it this way: I'm hoping that Disney keeps it adult enough.
Yeah, that's honestly where the line is.
Yeah, because I feel like because they're doing villains from us growing up. Like, they're doing villains from like stories and movies that we grew up watching, like from The Lion King and from Maleficent and Snow White.
I mean, strangely enough, it's based off of a mobile game. You know that, right?
Yeah, but the mobile game wasn't that. It was somewhat kitted down to be playable for like children too. So I'm hoping that they kind of make it somewhat adult themed enough to like still grasp the adult audience in a way.
Yeah, I mean, that stuff came out when we were kids, but we are adults now. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it's Aniplex doing it, and they've done a slew of shows that are all very adult. Like,
yeah, I just feel like with Disney, they're trying to catch the most amount of money they can.
So Disney's funding it; they're not necessarily producing it. Producing it is Aniplex. It's going to have the Disney label, and they have to have some Disney licensing and stuff because they're using Disney characters, obviously. But ultimately, it's Aniplex that's doing the entire production, and it's their name.
But it's 100% Disney sitting in the back corner. Like, I don't think you can do that.
But, well, Disney owns Deadpool now, and look at the new Deadpool movies; those were just fine.
There's no Deadpool movie out under Disney.
The thing is, no, because it's under Fox. This isn't going to be under Disney. This is going to be under Aniplex. Disney's just funding it.
There hasn't been a Deadpool movie when Fox was under Disney.
It's also confirmed that it's going on Disney Plus, so it's not. It's not going to be streaming. It's not going to be streaming on your Funimation and your Crunchyrolls. It's already confirmed. We're
It's
going straight to
exclusive.
Disney. Yeah, Disney Plus.
Oh, that's interesting. I
And
didn't know that.
I feel like the Star Wars Visions was kind of like a tester in a way, to kind of check the market. And I don't know. I feel like it could be great. They look more matured as far as like the art that I've seen. It seems like it's going to be a little bit more mature content to an extent. I'm just hoping they keep it that way instead of like making them somewhat lighthearted. Well, also have, I don't know. I just know Disney's just kind of trying to get their piece of the pie at this point. But it's one of those things. I think the first one's getting released like early 2022. One of the projects. So, I mean, I'm sure they're going to post it everywhere, so we'll have to keep our eyes open for that. I'll definitely check them out as they're coming out. But all right, we'll go to number 3 for the night. We got a short list tonight. A Japanese TV show ranked their top voice actors with the sexiest voices in anime. The number 1 place ended up being Junichi Suabe, who voiced Sukuna from Jujutsu Kaisen, Shota Aizawa from My Hero, and Yami from Black Clover. I just thought it was a funny article to put in there.
Yeah, well, you know, Sukuna does have a sexy
There's
voice.
a lot of Jujutsu
Sukuna
Kaisen voice
definitely
actors. For like
That
number
made that
2 and
list?
3.
Shocker.
Yeah. And then
Maybe that's why everybody likes that show.
No, everybody likes that show because it's a good show.
yeah, here we go.
Okay. Have
you not seen it?
Yeah, surprisingly enough, it was Black Clover and Jujutsu Kaisen were like the top 2 shows that were on a lot that were like on that list as far as voice actors were concerned. Which I felt like Black Clover kind of has some annoying voices other than Yami.
I don't know. I watched both My Hero and Black Clover in dub, so the only time I've heard this guy's voice is Sukuna.
Yeah.
Well, that's why you think. I mean, that's definitely the only reason that you think that Jujutsu Kaisen's a
Why?
good show. But, you know. Because it has good voice actors.
Oh, because it's a good show, dude.
He's turned on. He's turned on while he watches it.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm not going to negate that, but
Oh.
Some of those fighting.
have you
scenes
ever
just get
seen
you going.
Gojo's eyes, dude?
You know what?
He stares right
Exactly.
into your soul.
Dude,
The Ryan Reynolds of
Jujutsu.
anime.
Jujutsu Kaisen gets points because it has good fights, good animation, good voice actors, but it has
Oh
0
my
points.
god.
All right, well, I'm going to put it this way. That's going to happen.
Season 1 was a prologue.
Especially after the movie is about to come out.
Yeah, the movie has nothing to do with the show, though. Well, I mean, it does, but
It does.
Not
and it
the main
doesn't.
story.
It's given a different look at it. Yes, you're right. Last article, or last piece of our news for the week. The show I Am Quitting Heroism just got a release date for early 2022. It's a show about a hero joining Demon's side after being betrayed. Sounds like a common trope at this point. I don't know. It was just, I saw it come up on the feed and thought I'd add it in there.
I'm going to say the most
Looks all right.
generic thing.
I'm noticing
What's up?
a lot more of these ever since Shield Hero came out, because I think Shield Hero was kind of the kickoff of like the
Betrayal.
dark betrayal. I don't want to be a hero. I'm gonna go do what I want
Yeah.
type of trope.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of those.
Like, I got kicked out of my party.
Yep. There's one this season. I think last season there was something similar. There's just a lot of that lately. But, I mean, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. Like, we get a lot of isekais that all follow the same isekai trope, but
They all
at the same time,
kind
like,
of take their own direction sometimes, too, and
yeah,
surprise us. Like Slime.
and they can be good.
Let's
Like,
not talk
yeah,
about
for instance,
slime. We'll be here
Slime.
for 40 minutes.
I know.
Hey,
We've gotten off topic
hey.
enough.
Hey, did you guys hear about Gobta though?
What?
What about Gobta?
I just wanted to start a 40-minute conversation about Gobta.
Didn't you have him in your draft? And didn't you lose?
That's why I should have won. When
You really did a disservice to our boy Gopta there.
Yeah.
You didn't give him any supporting
Honestly.
actors. Supporting characters.
Go away,
You
guys.
had first round pick and everything. Well, I guess with that, we'll dive into our main headline for the episode. Like I mentioned last week, we're going to do a week by week basis, and we're bringing a new show to the table every week. We're going to give some structure to this podcast of ours. That being said, the segment is called Top Tier or Steer Clear. Every week, we're going to bring a new show to the table, typically a show that has come to its completion. So we're not trying to use any shows that are currently running or not concluded just yet. With one show each week, we'll be given individual scores between 1 and 10, rated in 3 categories, then averaged out for a final score at the end. Each based on how good we think the show is as a whole. 10 being the best, quote-unquote top tier, anime that's an absolute must-watch, or 1 being a steer clear. Don't waste your time on
What
it.
do we have?
We all have
What do we have? Dead Man's Wonderland at
6-2.
Oh, okay.
6-2.
We all have our own reasons behind our rating, so we're going to dive into those a little bit, explain why we thought the way we did. At the end of the episode, we'll take the average of 3 scores, throw it up on the board, and it'll be posted right on our Facebook page, and eventually on a large whiteboard behind me, once I manage to go to Staples and find one. This week, the show we chose was Charlotte. It's a show that originally aired in July of 2015, ended in September 2015. It ran 13 episodes and an OVA. Show Charlotte follows the story of 4 students in an alternate reality from Hoshinomi Academy, a school founded to protect children with special abilities that develop during puberty, as they search for and protect others like them throughout Japan. These students include Yu, a boy with the power to control another person, albeit for 5 seconds, and only when directly looking at the target. Oof, butchering it. Who uses her power to become invisible to one person she chooses in order to convince others to listen to her. Jojuro, with the power to move extremely quickly, making it look like teleportation. And Yusa, who is usually possessed by her deceased pyrokinetic sister, Misa, due to her ability as a medium. I guess we'll start it out with our original thoughts on the show as a whole, how much we enjoyed it. Kirk, I know this is your first time watching it, so I think I'm going to give you the lead here. First impressions.
I'm happy to. The first 5 episodes sucked. It was painful. And then from episode 6 on, it was just absolute gas. And I'm like, what happened here?
It's definitely a slow start.
Oh my gosh, it was such a slow start. It was painful watching the first 5. Like I was like, Jake, why are you having us watch this? What is this right now? And then like, towards the end, I was like, damn, like, whew. It made you feel some feels.
Yeah, well, you need the first 5 episodes to get to really know the characters. Plus,
Yeah,
I
would agree.
I love
You're
it
not wrong.
when shows do that. When it has such a drastic change in what you think is going to happen.
It was very, very
Yeah.
bold. With regards to an actual, are we starting right off with like the plot and stuff?
Yeah, might as well.
Okay. With regards to my score for the plot, that's a tough one. I had to think about this one, because the plot is, It's a little scrambled in the beginning, because it's like, oh, just collect the ability wielders. We don't know why they're doing it, kind of just to protect them, I guess. There's no... You don't have any key antagonist. You have protagonists, but there's no antagonist really yet. And you actually don't really get one, which I thought was interesting.
Sort of.
That was... Yeah.
With the
There's
lab.
many...
and
Well,
everything.
yes, there's the lab, but that's only in one flashback. There's all sorts of different entities that are... the antagonist is more or less this idea of dominating the kids and using them as test subjects regardless, just using them for power and stuff. And that you get that later on, though. Overall, I guess I'd give the plot like a... I gotta give it a 5. It's very average for me because it was just so scrambled, but it was there. Definitely other things are gonna get a much higher score from me, but the plot's gonna get a 5.
Okay. Jake, where do you want to take this?
I understand. Kirkledinger. I think I'm gonna give. I'll just throw my number out in the beginning. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. I think.
Okay.
You know, it's not one of the shows with like the greatest plot. You know, it's not like a Death Note, but I think it's definitely an above average plot. I think the twists that happen in the show and what like once they discover what Yu's true power is, I don't know. It's I found it very intriguing, and as soon as I got into it, I couldn't stop watching until I finished it. The reason I recommended this to you guys is because the final episode is my number one favorite final episode of any show ever.
I can understand that completely.
I get it.
And I think that honestly had a big effect on my score, was the final episode.
I agree. I think that it was wild to see how well they closed out the show itself. Like, if we don't get another season, I'm not upset about it. Like, they ended it, and it was very, very good.
Yeah, I doubt we'll get another season because of where they ended it, yeah.
No. Well, I mean, spoiler alert, everybody. If you don't want to hear how the show ended, don't listen for the next 10 seconds. They ended it literally with him taking every single ability and making it his own. And what are they going to do? Show his life the next however long?
Yeah, he doesn't have much longer.
No, he lost the
got
powers
picked up.
at the end. He got rid of them all.
I was going to
Did
say,
he?
yeah, it was close. Because,
Okay.
he had like a time limit because he was...
Well, yeah, once you hit that age.
point where you lose all your powers.
Oh, that's right. He lost his powers, and that's why he got shot by the crossbow, right?
No, he got shot by the crossbow
No,
because
he's-
he was just way too weak to do anything by that point. But
Yeah.
but he lost his.
Well,
the goal was to take everyone in the world's powers, and then when he turns like
Before.
14 or whatever it was, yeah, he
16,
loses
17.
the all the powers.
That's where everybody loses their
Yeah,
power.
and then frees the world from that.
Yeah.
That loop of everybody having powers.
Yeah.
But all right, well, with that, I mean, I gave it a 6.5. Couldn't push it right up to a 7. I mean, I love the plot was well done. It did it made you feel for the characters, and it definitely threw some like curveballs in there to where it kind of hit you with things you didn't see coming. I mean, it was very lighthearted. I thought we were going to follow, like Kirk said, I mean, the first few episodes were kind of like bland. I thought we were going to follow that theme the whole way through the show of just like the whole time they're just searching for each of these people with abilities, and there's probably going to be a big bad at the end, like most of the other shows. So when they came out with like everything with his brother and him being they all being test subjects at this big science facility, and everything that happened in the past, and all this, and well, these alternate timelines, and his brother being so OP with all like his time travel and everything else, that kind of hit me with a right hook because I wasn't expecting all that halfway through the show or the death of his sister.
That's when it kicked off. That's when the show got good. I hate to say it because it was sad, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
like, I'm thinking, right? Like he's got these abilities, like this, that, the other thing. Like, oh,
I
she's
thought there
gonna
was just going to be
fine. Like he's gonna do something, and she's going to be fine. Nah, she just straight up died. I'm like, oh, there's no coming back from that. Like,
yeah.
she's just dead. Like, is there somebody that can bring the dead back to life? Like, is she gonna start possessing the girl that has like the medium ability? Like, what's gonna happen now? That's when I got hooked. That's because like all the possibilities started like pouring out, and I'm like, oh, this show just got interesting.
And even from there, it took a turn that I didn't expect it to take. Like, you know,
That's what I loved about the show, and that's why I gave it a 7.5. Is it went a lot of the times after the sister dying, stuff happened that you absolutely did not expect.
Yeah, every single episode hit you with different things that you didn't see coming.
Yeah. Episodes, what is it? I think she died in like episode 6.
6. So seven was the
episode
depressing
7,
episode where he was just in his room the whole time.
Yeah, Sad Boy episode, which was one of my favorites, honestly. Just seeing like how it impacted him, it kind of shows him like his attachment to his sister, because you know, sister complex in Japan is a big thing. It is, like, don't tell me I'm wrong. But I mean, either way,
And then
shows
it led
like how
into
much he loved his
And then he met
sister.
the singer.
Yep, from the band that now his brother loved. And then all that stuff was so good, and then it's just like, all right, back in time. All this stuff just didn't happen, and I'm just like, and you know what? They did the time travel really well too. I wasn't upset with the time travel at all. I thought they did that really well.
There was consequences to it. Like,
yes,
every time it happened, there was consequences to every action that was made.
Given you didn't really go back in time enough times to
really have it be effective.
Yeah, because he loses his eyesight every so often.
Yeah. And then, like Jake said, I mean, the last episode is definitely up there on, like, the all-time greats as for, like, final episodes. It was, like, depressing and feeling, and, like, the music that was played that whole episode, and just watching him go through all these, like, phases.
Watching him slowly go insane.
Yeah.
Yep.
While also carrying his little book.
Mm-hmm. That part, one of my favorite parts is when he's in Arizona in the desert, and he like drops it and remembers what it is and forgets what it is, and then like you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, he flickered.
But no, it was definitely good. Which is why, I mean, it's still going to be up there for me, but I do know of other shows that we're going to bring up at later times that I feel like sit a little higher on the plot list. I can't be going out here giving 9s and 10s out the gate. We are 2 weeks.
No, definitely not.
I guess the next category we're going to get to is the animation. Kirk, you want to start us off?
Yeah, I can do that. A lot of individual and unique characters, which I thought was cool. They did a very good job of animating all those people. The details were good, the fights were good, the abilities were cool. I like how they showed all the stuff with like some of the cool scenes with like the teleportation guy dropping the change in slow motion. Like, I think the animation I'd give a very solid 7 to.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it did anything groundbreaking. It kind of just followed. I don't know. It didn't do anything crazy, but it was decent animation. I mean, that's why I gave it a 6. Because I mean, I don't want to say it was lazy animation, but it's also one of those shows that wasn't crazy fight animated either. It's not really why I watched it. I mean, it wasn't strictly based off of, and like I said before, there's shows that I can think of that I'm going to put like way high on whether it's fight animation or even just like regular scene-to-scene animation that I can just think of, it's going to end up higher. So that's why I kind of had to keep it at a medium there. Jake?
Yeah, I put it at like a 6.
6?
It was not there. It was average. There was nothing spectacular about the animation, but it definitely wasn't. You know, the reason I put it at 6 is because it wasn't like the greatest animation I've ever seen. It was pretty normal animation, but there wasn't anything wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much where I was sitting with it. All right. Well, we'll dive into our last category here. The characters. Character building. Well, Kirk, lead her off.
Characters. I'm gonna give it an 8.3. I don't want to give it an 8.5. I thought the characters were great. They had the schizophrenic Yusa and Misa combo, which was great. I mean, it wasn't actually schizophrenic. Their personalities were just different, and they showed that. And they were sisters, and they still played that off really well. All the characters were extremely unique. I'm going on an overall on this, not individual characters, because I think that there was a little bit. I think there was too many characters to really dive into and get really, really attached to one character. It was only 13 episodes for the whole series. It's not like One Piece where you have 1,000 episodes to get attached to a character. Jake, I'm looking at you because I'm sure you have some sort of fan fiction going on in your head with some of the characters from One Piece. But anyways, I still give it a very high score because I think they did a phenomenal job in 13 episodes, giving every single one of the characters and all the protagonists very unique personalities and tropes and quirks. And in addition to that, it was kind of unique, like I was saying earlier, like there's not any one antagonist. Then in my mind, the antagonist was just the idea of essentially capitalizing on these kids and experimenting with them or using them for war or government power, etc., whatever it might be. It's just a... I just thought that was pretty wild. How it wasn't... They did a very good job of making an enemy without making a named enemy.
Yeah, for sure. Jake, thoughts?
I gave it a 7.75. Yeah.
We're breaking out the decimals here.
I love the characters. I thought most of them were interesting. Reason I give it, I ranked it pretty high is because of Yu's character arc throughout the entire show. In general, I thought all the characters were interesting, but Yu definitely, from where he started to where he ended, I thought it was just a phenomenal character arc.
Yeah, for sure. I'm kind of right along there with you. I'm kind of in the middle of both of you here. I just give it a flat 8. I felt like they did all the main characters justice in giving every one of them their own feelings and their own time too. Like, you know, they have their own little backstories without going too deep in depth, but also like it intertwines well enough into like the plot and the story. And even like the side characters to an extent, like the characters they come across when they're going to take their powers. Like the kid who was flying, who could fly when they went to play baseball. Or, I mean, even the Misa with her sister when they first went to meet her and all that was going on. They kind of gave little back story blurbs and gave feeling to all these characters that they didn't necessarily need to. So they did the character development well too, because I mean even the main characters other than Yu and his sister, they didn't go too in depth with any of the characters until about halfway through.
Yeah.
And
so one thing that I don't mean to cut you off, but like one thing that I thought was really interesting is, you know how Yusa's ability is a medium.
Yeah.
You know how he was going crazy No. You know how Yu was going
Yeah.
crazy towards the end?
Yeah.
He had used his ability as a medium. What if he was starting to get like, I mean, he might have been fighting it off, but what if people were like, what if all the dead people that he killed collecting abilities were like haunting him, and that's one of the reasons why he went crazy. That was just
That's
a thought
wild.
that I had.
Didn't even think about it.
True, that's it. I mean, I didn't really. Yeah. Yeah, you really don't. Damn.
In combination with the thousands of other abilities he had.
Tens of
Oh,
thousands.
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I've watched the show a few times at this point, and it's the first. I mean, you're the first person who's brought that up. It's the first time I've thought of that too. Actually, it's kind of crazy.
And think about it, because he could fight it off too. Because remember how there was the kid that could read minds, and he tried to read Yu's mind. He's like, why can't I read his mind?
Yeah. Because there's
So
so
you
many
had
other.
an ability to prevent it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or there's so many other minds going on at the same time. Like everybody's trying. Like there's a million
Yep.
different people talking. Can't read one of them.
Yep.
Yeah, it's actually kind of
I
crazy.
thought that's kind of what I got into thinking. I was like, that's wild, because he has the medium ability and he's killed tons of people. Like, what if they're just haunting him? Like,
Yeah.
shit.
Well, I mean that's. I think this ends up a little higher than the other one. Yeah. So averaging this out, it's a 6.9
Elite.
after all three. So a little bit higher than Deadman. I'm gonna add that to the list for post that up on the Facebook and everything. That's week 2 as far as our weekly shows are gonna go. We're gonna try to stick with this, topic and theme. As weeks to come, we're gonna choose a new episode for next week. It's Kirk's pick for next week, so I think we already have that all planned out. It's gonna be a fun one too, because Jake hasn't seen this one, so we're kind of introducing
anime.
new shows to the group of us too, which is kind of cool. That we might not have watched yet, or wanted to watch yet, or whatever. Well, lastly, the last thing we're going to dive into, another week thing that we're going to try to do is our draft. So each week we're going to pick a different topic to draft our teams for. We're going to pick our teams based on our own opinions as we go back and forth. We're going to do a snake draft. At the end of each episode, I'm going to post up our teams on our social media accounts. Make sure you guys vote with a corresponding emoji, or even just comment who you think's list is better. I'm going to have everybody's name up there with who they choose.
Yeah, my name is
This week's
Jake.
teams are, in case you haven't been listening, this week's teams are going to be comprised of our top swordsmen in anime. So sword users, people who consider themselves swordsmen, or a character that's generally you recognize seeing them with a sword on an episode-to-episode basis. We can choose characters from any show.
Yeah.
Can be a main character or a supporting character. What's up?
Yeah, swordsmen or just sword users is kind of what the boundaries I put on my list.
Yeah, me too. Because, like we were talking about earlier, some people don't consider themselves swordsmen. They just people who wield swords. Who you generally would think as a character who wields a sword on an episode-to-episode basis. But, however, once a person's chosen, or a character's chosen, can no longer be chosen by either of the other two people. So, Jake won last week, so that gives him the rights to pick the order of this week's draft, which he hasn't.
Jake won in the worst spot of the draft,
Told us.
I might add. Which
You're going
I'll
first?
be given to John.
Oh, wait, I'm going
No,
first?
I'm going first. You're
No,
going
you're going
second, and
second.
Kirky's going third.
Oh, man. You're really screwing
Well,
me here, huh?
you did it to me last week, buddy. Maybe you can overcome the odds like I did. Anyways,
All right, Jake.
I don't think it's any surprise who I'm going to pick first.
Yeah, I'm going to put it on here,
Yep.
Zora.
From the magical world of One Piece, Roronoa Zoro, the future greatest swordsman in the world.
Who would have guessed? However, there is a better swordsman in
For now.
One Piece right
That's why I
now.
said future.
Yeah. Go ahead, Johnny.
So, this makes it hard because, I'm trying to think of people that I can get away with choosing later on. And I'm hoping you guys don't choose, which we ran into last week. I guess. I think I can do that one later. I'm gonna put Yami from Black
Damn.
Clover.
Me and Kirky had a bet. And we knew we knew that he was one of the options, but we bet on different people.
Hey, Johnny, I think I have an idea. Who is number 2 gonna be?
Number 2 for me.
If you could pick
I'm
right
not
now,
gonna pick
who would
him.
be your number 2?
Yeah, I'm probably not gonna pick him.
This is
Just
for me and
letting you know.
Kirky's side bet.
I mean, maybe Sasuke.
Oh, we were so off.
I was very wrong.
What,
It
were you
doesn't
gonna say, like,
surprise me.
Asta?
No,
No,
I
I was
had
going to say
Kirito.
Ichigo.
Ichigo. So I mean, so that was the thing. I didn't consider Bleach on that list because literally every single character in that show wields a sword, and it's more
Well, yeah.
it's more or less sword play later on than it is like the abilities.
is Kirito on your list?
Yeah.
He's somewhere on there. I'm not going to necessarily put him too high if I have to dive down to the bottom.
All
of
right,
my
we'll
list.
take that as 2 L's then.
All right. So, my number 1, going right off the bat here, my number 1 is Guts
You bitch.
from Berserk.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, I told you weren't going to like my first pick, Jake.
I knew you were gonna pick Guts, but at the same time, I figured you weren't going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah.
But he can't
Guts is
not
just
be
a
on there.
Great swordsman. Yeah. He just tears everything apart and
The
just
Black Swordsman,
makes-
yeah.
red confetti everywhere.
What do you got for your second?
My
pick?
number 2 pick is Akame from Akame ga Kill.
It's a good one.
Okay. I didn't.
Yep. Because I mean, literally, all she has to do is give you a paper cut and you're dead. Like that. Like that's her sword. Like you can't do anything about it. Like you get cut with it, you're dead. Nobody in that show survived being cut by her sword.
True. Leads to me, right?
Yep.
I know we just talked about Sasuke being number 2, but we'll put Sasuke at number 2. I had another Naruto person in mind, but I don't think I'm gonna use it just because I have a few other people that I'm gonna throw later on the list that I think you guys won't choose. So, all right, Jake, you get 2.
This is a tough one now that Guts is off the table. Let's see. My first pick is gonna go to Gintoki from Gintama.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna save him for later. Kenpachi from Bleach.
All right. Okay.
All right.
It's
Is that back
No,
to
it's
me?
John.
no, it's me.
Oh, that's John. That's right. Snake draft.
You know, I'm gonna throw a curveball into this one. I don't think you guys were gonna choose him, but I'm gonna do it anyways. Afro from Afro Samurai.
All right.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yep, the man in flip flops himself.
Does John
No.
get another pick?
No.
Yeah.
No,
No.
2.
That was
You get
2. Okay.
2.
So because I watched it recently, and I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the new episodes of Demon Slayer, I'm picking Rengoku, the Flame Hashira.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, I've seen the movie, but have you seen the new series? It's kind of like everything leading
No,
up
I
to the
haven't
movie.
watched the episodes. I mean, I finished the manga. I know. I was just gonna say, he dies, right?
Yeah, I noticed that they are doing their own individual episodes outside of.
Yeah.
So it's like extended. It's Mugen Train, but it's extended Mugen Train on an episode basis. There's like their original episodes based off of Mugen Train.
Yeah, they build up to it. Basically everything until the big boss fight, pretty much. And then for my number 4 pick, as much as I don't want to admit to watching the show. I guess the first couple of seasons were pretty good. Levi Ackerman, because he is quite the damn swordsman. I mean, nobody is as good with aerial gear as him, and he brings a different element to swordsmanship. He kind of just flies around and, is definitely one of the more mobile of all the swordsmen that you can think of in anime.
Okay. That's a solid pick. Respect that.
Mm-hmm.
Another one that I feel like you guys weren't going to choose, I could probably pick last, but I'm going to go Claire from Claymore.
Okay.
I'm kind of going, a little out there. Some people might not know what I'm talking about, but...
Yeah, no, I have no problem with that pick. That's a good one.
Is that the anime where, like, it was, like, a weird, kind of, sort of, like, Valkyrie angel
Witcher.
type of thing? Yeah, she was, like, a...
She's like the
Yes,
female
and
version
then
of Guts.
She'd killed demons and shit,
Yokai,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, and I think I only watched, like, the first 2 or 3 episodes.
They're like
of it.
lichens. It's pretty much what the enemies are there.
Yeah.
But literally, it's like Guts, if it was female, and The Witcher
Yeah.
combined. Like, that's like my best. And it's old. Older. It's like 90s.
No, it's like 2000s.
Early 2000s. Jacob,
All right, my last 2 picks. Have you already got all your 5, Kirk?
No,
No,
I've
he has
got one
one more.
left. I know you're going to take my last one.
Probably not. My last 2, I don't think anyone has. Hyakimaru from Dororo. You know what I'm talking about?
Come again? Sorry.
Yes.
Hyakimaru from Dororo.
Yeah. She
Him?
was wild.
Yeah.
Him? Wait. Oh. This is awkward. Alright, moving
Not
on.
Dorohedoro. Dororo. The one where the demons take all of his body parts and he has to get them back so his limbs are like swords.
I have
You need
not
to.
seen that. Okay.
And then my last pick, I know that neither of you thought of, from the One Piece universe, the most powerful sword user of all time, Gold D. Roger, the Pirate King.
Was
Okay.
he a
Oh,
sword
yeah.
user?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that ends my list.
Boy.
Damn, throwing 2 One Piece characters.
Well, I would have made all 5 of them One Piece characters, but, I thought I'd spice it up a little bit.
All right. Where do I want to go with this one? Do I want to take it onto a One Piece direction, or kind of stick to my? Yeah, we're gonna do Saber from Fate Zero,
Yeah,
or well, the Fate series.
that's a good one. She was on my backup list.
Yep. I put Fate
Yep.
series, unless you want me to choose an individual one. that
Well, you
she's
already
from,
chose Fate
but-
Zero, and I think she's the best in that one anyways, too.
Well, I'll put Fate Zero then, because she's in like 3
Yeah.
of them.
Sabers and all. Yeah.
Well, the Saber class is in all of them.
The
but
specific Saber,
the
like
specific Saber
King
is in,
Queen
like, 3 of
Arthur.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
is in like 3 out of the 6 or something. But all right.
And then
Yeah.
I'm last, right?
Yeah, last pick.
All right, my last pick's going to be Alibaba from Magi. I don't know if you guys remember who he is, but he has basically the fire spirit. I want to say it's Ifrit. I could be wrong.
Ifrit.
I forget who he has, but he has
Ifrit, yeah.
Ifrit. He has a genie inside his sword, essentially, and
Yeah.
he can use the powers of the genie. And also, in addition to that, though, he's a very skilled swordsman because he knows whatever royal style of swordsmanship that he was taught
Yeah.
when he was younger.
The
So
show
he
I
is
completely
actually...
forgot.
Which one is Alibaba?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah.
That's not the main character, right?
No.
No, Aladdin is the main character. Alibaba's like the blonde-haired
Okay.
kid.
Yeah, I've seen like the first 3 episodes, and I was really into it, but I just stopped watching for some reason.
I wish they kept up with the, mini series they did on
Is
Netflix.
that the what's his name with the purple hair?
Blue hair?
Blue hair?
Or is it purple?
There's the kid with blue hair, there's a kid with blonde hair, and then there's a chick with red
No,
hair.
I'm talking about the guy who conquered the 7 seas. Yeah, Sinbad.
Oh, Sinbad. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got blue hair.
Sinbad. They had a whole
He's got,
anime
like, blue
series,
hair.
but then they stopped it after
Yeah.
the season.
Adventures of Sinbad, and it was actually really good. I don't know why it only got 1 season, but you know.
Because
Yeah,
fuck
feels
you,
bad.
Kirky
Before anime blew
and
up.
John. That's why.
Well, those are our lists. Those are actually kind of strong lists this week. I'm kind of liking it now that we have. Like last week, we ran into the fact that there's only so many people to choose from, being isekais and all, and there's a lot of different shows as far as swordsmen are concerned. So it's kind of cool that we got a little bit different of lists this week. So it's going to be a good one to post up.
I'm not going to lie to
Make
you,
sure to check
Purple
that
Dinger.
out.
You said,
I
this is what he said to me, John. We conspired behind your back. He said, you can put me third, because I'm not going to pick anyone that you're going to pick. And at this moment, I'm feeling very betrayed. And also,
Okay,
All right.
you could not have
Who-
expected Guts to make it back to you. Come on now.
I didn't expect you to pick Guts. And Kirky, I don't know whether you've
I
seen
only-
Berserk or not. Yeah, you.
Me? Yes, I've seen Berserk.
You just gotta realize there's 4 picks before it makes it back to you.
I know,
Guts is
but
coming up.
It was
before.
Guts or Zoro, dude. And I figured Zoro is the one you guys would pick first.
I mean, I didn't even touch One
No,
Piece.
no, no.
I mean, I thought about
No.
One Piece. I had One Piece on
Did
my
you-
sub list, but
Jake, of all the people here, did you think I was gonna pick one character from that anime?
I mean,
I'm
to
not even gonna
spite
call
him,
it One Piece because
You
it's
literally,
just anime.
this is literally what he said to me before we started this. Yeah, I'll probably pick Zoro if I go first. It's exactly what he said to me.
Because Zoro's the stereotypical anime
He is-
of or
Yeah.
swordsman of anime. I say, yeah.
to spite you, he definitely would.
There,
pick
there's
Zoro,
Rurouni
but-
Kenshin. Rurouni Kenshin's also
Yeah.
one of the biggest swordsmen in anime, which none of us picked.
Yeah, he was on my
mind you, but,
backup
hey,
list.
you know.
I've never seen the show though, so I didn't pick him.
Well, because he doesn't have any powers or anything, he'd lose to all
Yeah.
these people.
No, I thought
Maybe
these were
not
solid.
lose
Like
to
lists.
Yakimaru doesn't
Crack
have
down some
powers
people
either.
that,
He's
you know.
just a fucking badass. You need to watch Dororo.
I mean,
Yeah.
I pulled out.
Well,
some
other than
people
the
I
fact that
haven't
he's
watched in
missing
a while.
limbs.
Well,
There's also so for my honorable mentions though, I'd like to bring up 2 characters. There's I forget his name, but there's the guy from Sword Guy. Have you guys ever seen that anime? Basically, it's like a demon sword that possesses the kid, and then the guy basically turns the sword
No.
into his arm. No, that's
No.
an interesting one. And then aside from Sword Guy, I'd like to bring up Lei from Misfit of Demon King Academy. I don't know if you remember, but they make a very big deal about him being a swordsman. It's basically like the Demon King's best friend, but it turns out he's the hero.
Yeah.
Just
yeah, I
reincarnated.
never
Yeah.
finished that show.
I mean, I had Ezra on my list.
Oh, Ezra Scarlet
Urza?
from Fairy Tail.
Yeah.
Urza. Yeah, same difference.
I mean, King Bradley.
That's a good one.
I mean, could have brought up Shanks.
Yeah, I was deciding
about-
between Shanks and Roger, and I figured the former Pirate King is probably.
You could have picked the better swordsman from Naruto. He's not actually a better swordsman, but he's a lot more fun of a
Tails,
pick. Is
yeah.
Killer Bee.
I
Killer
wasn't
Bee.
going to consider Killer B a swordsman because 90% of the time he doesn't use it. I mean, there was that one
Yeah.
fight. I was going to do Kisame.
I was gonna do Zabuza just because you can't not love Zabuza.
And then I love that none of us picked Hawk.
Mihawk.
Mihawk.
Mihawk,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, personally, I think Zoro's on level with him right now in the show. And, if you're going to pick anyone who just uses a sword like Shanks or anything like that, a sword user, it's got to be the King of the Pirates. Especially after that scene of him clashing with Whitebeard.
Yeah, so I based a lot of my picks on, like, seeing an extensive amount of it being used. I mean, Mugen was on my list too from Samurai
on mine
Champloo.
too.
Ichigo's on this top list. Mihawk's number 1 on most of the list. But that's going to be our draft for this week. Kind of our final thoughts here. We're going to kind of end it out here. We're going to wrap up episode 7 of the Anime Happy Hour podcast. Like I said in the beginning, feel free to reach out to us with any suggestions, questions, concerns. We are still somewhat new. I mean, we're still only 7 episodes in, so we're always looking for some input. As the episodes go on, we're kind of still getting our legs for it. I feel like we're getting a little bit better as weeks go on, so I hope everybody sticks it out with us. Feel free to contact us at any time via Facebook. Just search in the Anime Happy Hour podcast onto our Facebook search bar. Feel free to email us at animehappyhour951@gmail.com. You can also check out our Anchor page with all of our links to where you can listen to us at anchor.fm/happyanimehour03. We are also in the process of working out the kinks for a YouTube, maybe live streaming later on, down the line. But we're going to try to put up a live video at some point. So keep your eyes out for that in the show description. That's kind of where we're going to end off. Thank you for joining us tonight on another week of the Anime Happy Hour podcast. We're going to sign off till next week. All right, see you guys.